Welcome back. We are just minutes away from kick-off here at the Emirates Stadium. It is a welcome to the Europa League for Arsenal, of course. The last time that the Gunners were in this competition, it was called the UEFA Cup, and of course Arsenal were beaten in the final of that competition by Galatasaray on penalties. Since then, it's been Champions League all the way. We've dropped down into it, but there is a route back to the top table of European football, should Arsenal be successful in this competition. Like Manchester United have been recently, like Chelsea have been recently, like Liverpool nearly were recently. So English sides have tended to do well in this. And when you look at the other teams in the competition, maybe Milan, who have spent heavily, would you get Arsenal again? But generally, Arsenal are the best team in this competition.
For a big start tonight, Dan.
Get set for kickoff. Arsenal versus Cologne in the Europa League. The last time that these two sides met was in the Fairs Cup in 1970-71. Can Arsenal get all the way to the final in Lyon? Of course, it would be a tremendous achievement for the Gunners. And we certainly wish Arsenal all the best. Let's see what the Gunners can do from kickoff. You can hear the noise from the Cologne fans away to our right. There's an awful lot in the Emirates. They were initially given 3,000. I think more have been let in by hook or by crook. I'm not quite sure how that's happened. And they cheer as Cologne look to clear the ball. The Gunners have it once again, though, with Alexis Sanchez. And I'll run through the two teams for if you are just joining us in just a second. This is Nacho Monreal. Really good atmosphere, with the Cologne fans making plenty of racket, but the Arsenal supporters beginning to respond in kind. Cologne look to come forward over on that right-hand side, but are unable to do so. The Gunners line up with Ospina in goal, a back three of Monreal, Mertesacker and Holding. It is Ainsley Maitland-Niles left-hand side, Hector Baird in right-hand side, El Neni and Iwobi centrally, Alexis on the left-hand side, Theo Walcott on the right, and Olivier Giroud up top. As for the Bundesliga bottom club, who look to come forward through the centre before it's nodded back by El Neni and then cleared away by Holding towards Maitland-Niles on that left-hand side. That's a good ball forward towards Alexis. He then loses out. The German side are Horn in goal, back four of Rausch, Heinz, Mehr and Klunter. Lehmann is the holding midfielder. And then from left to right in midfield, Bittencourt, Hector, Höger and Zola, and Jean Cordoba, the Colombian who's come in to replace Anthony Modeste up front. He hasn't got the best goal-scoring record in his career so far, the 24-year-old who's played in Mexico and in Spain and was signed from Mainz. But he's the man charged with trying to replicate Modeste's goals. That's going to be some task that he's got on. Great noise from the Cologne supporters, no doubt about that.
Yeah, big noise from the Cologne supporters, Dan. I like the setup as well. You know, four at the back, kind of five across the midfield, one up front. It's going to be interesting how they fare against Arsenal's three at the back. You know, the two different systems makes for a very good game, I feel. And at the moment, they're not pushing forward as much as I thought they would at the beginning of the game. Arsenal having more of the possession. A lot of movement for the Arsenal players up front. Theo wanting the ball to feet a lot, getting in a good position now as well.
Walcott looking to break forward, he's dispossessed, and an opportunity now for Cologne to come forward. Over on the left-hand side is Bittencourt, looks to play it forward towards Cordoba, back towards Bittencourt, brought down by Holding, and the referee gives Cologne a free kick some 10 yards inside the Arsenal half over on the left-hand side. It was Bittencourt that looked to get forward and was just grappled to the ground, really, wasn't he, by Rob Holding?
Yeah, quick start. He's a little bit too tight, Rob Holding, for me there. He needs to give him a little bit of room on this one. You know, he's not got rid of the ball quick enough either, has he? Let's face it, he should have just played that sideways. Maybe a little bit of nerves, you know, starting in this competition for the first time. But it's a decent position for Cologne.
Rausch to take this free kick. It's whipped in, it's fair delivery. Olivier Giroud will clear away, and then it's nodded back by Bittencourt and looks to go again on the edge of the Arsenal penalty area. And he was caught by Holding again, and he might go into the book here, Rob Holding. Well, the referee, who is the Spanish official, Javier Estrada, doesn't reach for the card, but that's 2 challenges on the same player in the space of a couple of minutes. Yeah,
again, he's gone way too tight. Once you're a few yards off of a play, you just got to sit and hold that. He doesn't need to make a challenge. I think his head was still a bit hot from his last one. He thought he wanted to right the wrong, make a challenge and win the ball. And now, for me, he's put Arsenal in a very dangerous position because, you know, set pieces are where Cologne are going to look to make their mark on this game. They'll take their time, and it's a very dangerous area.
So free kick left-hand side, just 3 yards outside of the penalty area. Rausch is standing over this one, so is Lehmann, so is Bittencourt. It is Lehmann to take the shot on, and it hits El Neni, and he will thump to safety. And it's going to bounce to this near side and out for a Cologne throw. It's interesting, David, you mentioned in the pre-match show about what sort of impact the supporters can have for Cologne here, and they are making an awful lot of noise at the moment, and there is a serious number of them in the stadium as well, not just in their section but populating the Arsenal section as well. Unfortunately, there's no hint of any trouble. I don't think there's been any trouble all day. I think it's a situation where it's just weight of numbers has worried the police, and obviously when 20,000 turn up to try and get into a stadium where there's only 3,000 tickets for them, you can see why the game was postponed for an hour. Let's see what the Gunners can do with El Neni looking to break forward. That's comfortable for Timo Horn. And Cologne will start again from the back, but they are making a difference. And if you're a Cologne player, you're going to be loving this.
Yeah, definitely. It's gonna be like an extra player on the field for them. You know, yes, they've been in London all day, and as we said in a match day show, they've not been in Europe for 25 years, so it's a big occasion for them. And they're not just playing any old side; they're playing Arsenal at the Emirates. You know, one of the best sides in Europe, and they're going to do everything in their power to try and win this game for their team, or to help their team win this game, and they're certainly making a difference, and it is good to see that.
Let's see what Theo Walcott can do here for Arsenal. Rausch is foul, that's going to be a free kick.
I was going to say, it's good to see that even though they are mixed in with the Arsenal fans and not just in their own area, there's no worries. They're being very respectful, they're just singing and chanting as they do when they're at home. You know, they're really enjoying themselves. And making a difference to the atmosphere totally. It feels like a great European night.
Mwenda Kinyua-Bironsa seems Arsene Wenger not taking the competition too seriously, but it still gives young players an opportunity to get some valuable experience. Hopefully we get a win. Thanks for the mail, Mwenda. This is Mertesacker to find Iwobi. Iwobi plays it to the left-hand side and Ainsley Maitland-Niles. Maitland-Niles takes the touch for Alexis Sanchez. Alexis Sanchez will ping it over to the right-hand side, and Hector Bellerin, who will control, and Bellerin will come forward infield towards El Neni, and eventually it's back for Holding, and now it's with Nacho Monreal on the left-hand side. Short ball towards El Neni. El Neni spins away from the attentions of Hector, and now it's with Holding once again, and maybe just a pattern of play emerging here with Arsenal dominant, but no real penetration just yet. We've had 7 minutes here at the Emirates Stadium. A late kick-off here because of concerns about the size of the crowd that have rocked up at the Emirates tonight outside of the ground that didn't have tickets. Thankfully, the police doing a brilliant job of sorting all that out. And this is Holding to chip it forward towards Bellerin. Cologne managed to win it back. Rausch, and then Lehmann's touch is a little heavy. Alexis goes sliding in. It should be cleared away here by Horn. Manages to play it to this left-hand side on Rausch once again. Rausch will knock it down the line for Höger, who plays it infield. And here's an opportunity for Mayer to knock it forward. The Spanish under-21 international, who was a key member of the side that lost to Germany in the final of the under-21 European Championships in the summer.
Yeah, they've done well there, Cologne, to get out of trouble. It's going to be difficult for them as well, because their options, where they've got 4 at the back, they're kind of losing out on one of those midfield players or a forward. At the moment, it's a forward they're losing out on, so their options go in there. They can't play the long ball, really, into anyone's feet up front. What Arsenal need to do is what we just saw. We need to get Alexis involved. We need to get him either nicking the ball or get him involved just in that little pocket of space between the back 4 and those 5 midfield players, and he can really cause damage.
Arsenal coming forward again over on the right-hand side. But Bairnin can't find Walcott, and eventually it's smuggled away for a Cologne throw. And it will be Rausch to take it on this near side. Keith Lecraft has been on from Ecuador. Says, hi to you both, always great to hear you. What a side. We will see how it goes. Bottom of their table, but they are still professionals, not to be taken lightly. A 5-0, says Keith, who's out in Chaudeleg in Ecuador.
I like that confidence. Professionals, not to be taken lightly. 5-0.
Let's see what Ospina can do here outside of his penalty area to clear. Cordoba has it, looks to go for goal from distance. Oh, I say, that is something special from the Colombian. What a hit that is. He's gone across to celebrate with the coaching staff, and Ospina, who cleared, it eventually fell to Simon Zola, who teed up Cordoba, who from, I don't know, 35 yards or more, 40 yards, has found the back of the net. What a hit.
Well, we were saying we didn't know much about Cordoba. We knew that he played in a couple of different countries, but he's seen that with eyes in the back of his head. He realised that that was a bad clearance from Ospina. He knew when he picked it up. There's a controversy about the ball maybe being out of play in the beginning, but that's a poor clearance from the Arsenal keeper. And, you know, as he turns, there's only one thing in his mind. And to be fair, I know we're looking right at it, but as a player, I'd have tried to do exactly the same, Dan, because I'd have realised that position I was in, and I'd have seen the keeper clearing that, and there's no way Ospina was going to make 30 yards getting back to his goal line. And it's a great finish. You know, and they deserve that 1-0. It's, you know, there's a flare gone off in their fans. They're absolutely ecstatic at the moment. It's the best start ever Cologne could have imagined.
So Arsenal 0, Cologne 1 is the depressing scoreline at the moment, but one thing that we should point out is that we've only had 10 minutes or so. There's plenty in this game. Theo Walcott's been caught, and that's going to be a free kick to Arsenal. Well, an opportunist strike, but certainly a terrific hit from Cordoba. Fantastic goal. And he was teed up by Simon Zola, and it sort of hit the shins of Zola, I think, in fairness. He didn't really control it back to Cordoba, did he? But Cordoba did all the rest.
I'd imagine as soon as he's miscontrolled it and it's gone to Cordoba's feet, he will be telling him, turn, shoot, turn, shoot, keep us off his line. We can't hear that or see that from here, but I would tell you 100% he would have been telling him that, and he's executed it fantastically.
Free kick to Arsenal, 35 yards out, and it's chipped forward by Alexis, and it's Giroud with a header. He's offside. It would not have counted, but it's a good stop from Timo Horn nonetheless.
Yeah, he's a long way out. It's going to be very difficult to beat the keeper from there, almost on the edge of the box. I don't actually think it was him that was offside, to be honest with you, Dan, but it's quite speculative from there. Arsenal really need to ramp it up now and get these, turn this around, get back in the game with a goal, settle the fans down and bring the Arsenal fans into the game.
Well, the Cologne fans were enjoying themselves before, even more so now. Terrific noise away to our right. This is El Neni, now it's with Theo Walcott, and Walcott will play it towards Hector Bairnin, who's quick on the right-hand side, up against Rausch. Bairnin still has possession, Walcott wants it. Walcott inside the penalty area, looking to try and muscle his way in. He can win a corner, can he? Well, Arsenal tried to respond here, and they have a corner to try and get back on terms.
Yeah, it'll be interesting just to have another look at that goal, because when Rausch cleared it up the line, the ball that went to Ospina, whether that was out of play or not, I'd like to see. But the corner's been taken short.
This is Bairnin back towards Walcott, but it's an opportunity for Zola to get forward over on the left-hand side. He's not got the pace to get away from Hector Bairnin. Cordoba is trying to get forward. He was defending just a few moments ago, so he's not in position. Now here's an opportunity for Bittencourt to take a shot from distance, but he was always going over the target.
Yeah, he cut inside well, Bittencourt. Initially, you know, gained a lot of space for his team, running down the left-hand side, cut it back to Bittencourt. For me, Arsenal not tight enough in there. And, you know, the trouble is, it's just little mistakes that cause goals. We saw a couple of challenges earlier on from Rob Holding that put Arsenal in difficult positions. You've got to iron out those little mistakes, from my point of view. That's where you show your quality, by making the right decisions. And we've had 3 wrong decisions, and one of them's caused a goal.
Arsenal coming forward on the left-hand side. Iwobi just can't quite find Olivier Giroud, and the ball goes out of play. Cordoba, who scored in the German Cup against Leer in the first round in a 5-0 success on his debut, but hasn't scored in the Bundesliga so far this season for Cologne, having switched from Mainz, where he scored 5 last campaign. But what a way to introduce yourself to European football. El Neni, Giroud. El Neni goes again. He won't be on the left-hand side, looking to get low ball in. It's towards Giroud, didn't quite catch that, and it came off a Cologne player, in fact, and it's gone out for a corner to Arsenal on the left-hand side.
Yeah, that's better play from Arsenal. Ball inside, El Neni leaves, gives it an over to Giroud. 1-2, Iwobi in and across. Unlucky there, Giroud, not to get a cleaner contact. Defender puts it out for a corner. That's a more positive movement.
Alexis gets ready to take. In-swinger towards that near post. It's flicked down and into the arms of the keeper. Quite sure who got the header on that one, but Horn was in the right place at the right time to make what appeared to be a comfortable save. He got the header away.
I think it was Nacho who got that down into the ground. He's come in behind Per Mertesacker, angled it down, but as you said, Homs picked that up very well. It come off the turf really fast into his hands, but he held on to it.
Cologne have a throw-in on the left-hand side. Opportunity to get some players forward as Rausch gets ready to take. Bittencourt moves away. Lehmann in space as well. It's towards Cordoba. He can't take it down. Arsenal win it back. Giroud's touch towards Hector Bellerin. Back towards Olivier Giroud. Rausch looking to try and win it back. Now it's with Per Mertesacker. Mertesacker inside his own penalty area will clear. Giroud can't keep it in play, and it will be a Cologne throw. And if you're watching the pre-match show, when Dave was explaining what centre-forwards do in and around their own penalty area and what centre-halves do, that was a great example, because Giroud tried to do too much and Mertesacker just whacked it away.
Yeah, exactly. And
offside flag. He's not up here, and Cologne coming forward again. Everyone expected play to halt. Thankfully, though, Ospina came to Arsenal's rescue. Yeah, good ball into Zola there, and he is allowed to pick the ball up in the box. Yeah, Giroud got the ball on the left-hand side, and you know, if any defender would have hooked that over his shoulder, but he's played a ball back into Mertesacker into box, and it is at pace. It's bounced 3 yards in front of Mertesacker, and to be fair to Per, he's absolutely, you know, he's controlled it very well and dealt with it. But you know, that's why you don't have forwards in defensive positions. Iwobi towards Walcott, who's offside.
Yeah, Theo, don't think he's offside there, but he needs to be looking along the line. They're clever defenders, and you know, Rausch is just as the ball's about to be struck. He's just stepped up on that a little bit. We're just looking at that ball into Zola again. Yeah, you know, he shouldn't be allowed to pick that up. He's got 2 defenders around him. One should be in front, one should be behind. One challenging, one covering.
Horn gets ready to take this free kick then for Cologne. Long towards that right-hand side where Zola is stationed. He will flick it on for Cordoba, who will take it down. And then Cordoba is forced back towards his own half. Hector moves forward, then Arsenal try and win it back, but they can't, as Cologne knock it back towards Heinz. And Rausch on this left-hand side is touched with a bit of heavy. Manages to knock it back towards Mayer, who will come forward and play it towards the left-hand side, but it's overhit by quite some distance as he tried to get Bittencourt in. Arsenal stunned. Cologne lead by a goal to 0. Cordoba on the score sheet from 35 yards. More. Terrific hit.
Yeah, we were saying in the show, pre-match show, that can't really see where the goals are coming from after selling Modeste at the start of the season to the Chinese Super League. But he's certainly filled Modeste boots in this first 18 minutes of the game. You know, he's more than done his fair share. Opportunist goal, though. You know, it wasn't a creative goal, but they all count. And Arsenal, as you say, just finding it difficult to sort of really affect their back four, but they're working really hard, Cologne. I don't think they can keep this up. They're shuffling across the pitch. It's really difficult for them.
Walcott's been called offside again. This time from the chip forward by Holding. Not quite sure how close this one was.
Yeah, he's a yard
off, isn't he?
Yeah, they're clever. They're just stepping up on him. And Jorge Mayer, he's just playing him along the line. He's waiting, stepped up. What a lovely pair of shoes we can see right now as well from their coach, Peter Stoger.
Free kick then once again. for Cologne. Paul Spitzbert on email says, hello from the States. Weird to see here the Europa League. Disappointing start. Expected a 3-2 win, but this doesn't feel great. Give the youngsters some run to see what they can do. Let's turn it around. Come on, you guys, says Paul. Good to hear from Paul as Cologne look to come forward on that left-hand side, but run out of room, and it will be a goal kick which Ospina will take and play it over towards the left-hand side, and Nacho Monreal. Monreal outside of his own penalty area, plays it in field for Mohamed El Neni, still inside the Arsenal half. The Egyptian will knock it back towards Monreal once again. Monreal plays it forward for Alexis Sanchez. Alexis will turn and then ping it to this near side where Rob Holding is stationed. Holding just over the halfway line, rolls it back towards Per Mertesacker. Mertesacker, the Arsenal captain, sustained that injury, of course, against Leicester opening weekend of the season. First time we've seen him back since then. Might play against Doncaster next midweek, potentially, in the Carabao Cup. This is Iwobi. Now it's with Alexis Sanchez. Alexis, central position, curls it over to the right-hand side. Walcott lets it run through to Bellerin. Bellerin with a cross. It's towards Olivier Giroud with a header, but Horn is there to make a comfortable save. Yeah,
it's a good early cross from Hector Bellerin, but it's come back and it's so far away from the goal that Giroud's had to generate all his own power. It's a good technical header. It's down into the ground, but Hom there just picks it up again. Really, Horn there picks it up really easy. It's easy for him. It comes off the grass nicely into his hands.
Holding towards Hector Bellerin on the right-hand side. We've had 20 minutes here at the Emirates Stadium, and it's Cologne that lead by a goal to nil. Cordoba with a bit of a worldie after Ospina cleared outside of his penalty area. It's rattled off the shins for me of Bittencourt and set up Cordoba, but he had an awful lot to do, and from 40 yards or so managed to find the top corner with a sensational strike. That's the difference between the two sides at the moment, as Monreal looks to come forward on the left-hand side. Now it's with Ainsley Maitland-Niles. Maitland-Niles will knock it back here for Monreal once again. Now it's Alexis Sanchez. Alexis Sanchez loses out to Cordoba. Cordoba wins it fairly, and it's Cologne coming forward now with Höger, and eventually it's gone towards Bittencourt, who will knock it back here to the centre-half Heinz, and now Mayer, and eventually to Klunter over on that right-hand side. That's the Cologne right back. Horn is involved once again. He'll take a touch, bit of pressing from Alexis and Giroud, and then Horn will thump it forward for Cordoba to try and win on his chest, but Arsenal win it back with a combination of Holding and El Neni. Holding breaking forward, skips away from one challenge, wins a throw.
See, that's exactly what Arsenal need to do when Cologne push forward and they commit players forward. Arsenal need to break on them quickly because they're retracting and condensing as a team, getting in 8-9 men behind the ball every time.
Meanwhile, Cordoba will look to go again over on that left-hand side. Here he's got there ahead of Nacho Monreal. Has come across to the Arsenal right, tries to get the cross in, doesn't quite catch it, and it goes behind for a goal kick.
I like what Nacho's done there. Sometimes, obviously he's in the box, he doesn't want to make a challenge, but sometimes we see and get too tight. Explain that in the match day show before the game, and as a fullback you want to try and nick the ball, but then he's let Cordoba make his own mistake. He's waited, he's been patient, he's allowed people to recover in the box. Good decision. But I think it's really going to be difficult for Cologne to keep going forward and then coming back and making two ranks in their own half that cover 25-30 metres. It's a really lot of ground to cover, and they'll tire. And what Arsenal need to do is expose it, and they need to get Alexis on the ball. At the moment, he's coming way too deep. He's on the halfway line at the moment. That's too deep for me. He needs to be up there affecting play along that edge of their back four.
Holding to slide in. Iwobi to flick it towards Walcott, who's onside. Theo Walcott drags it wide.
Good recovery from Roush, though, Dan. You've got to say he got back just done enough. I don't think Theo's first touch got it out of his feet and in front of him. I don't know if he was really expecting this to come to him either. Yeah, he's slightly offside. I don't think he was going to get that. But Roush has just done enough.
Goal kick then, which Horn will take. Cologne supporters still making plenty of noise. And Horn gets ready to knock this one long. Midway point of this first half at the Emirates Stadium. Mertesacker wins the header. It'll fall towards Lehmann. Lehmann looks to play it towards Cordoba on the right-hand side, and then he gives it away. Alexis Sanchez, he's surrounded by Cologne players here, needs a bit of support. Theo Walcott looks to provide it, but the through ball is collected by Timo Horn.
Yeah, he's forced that pass a little bit, Alexis. He was on his own to start with, and luckily Theo's pace got him up with play and allowed him to make a run, but, you know, it would have had to have been such a measured pass. I don't think it was ever on. Maybe we need a little bit more building, a little bit more support up to the front. But certainly you've got to give Cologne credit. They're working really hard, and they've caused a few problems on the counter as well.
This is Alexis Sanchez on the left-hand side. Now it's with Mertesacker towards Holding. Holding looks to come forward. Giroud tries to flick it round the corner for Iwobi, but he's given the ball away, and suddenly it's Lehmann and Cologne on the counter. Here's an opportunity for Höger to come forward. Cordoba looks to try and take it down. The back pass from Mertesacker just about good enough to find Ospina, as Zola was looking to close down. And now it's with El Neni, who comes racing away over the halfway line, looks to try and find Alexis on that left flank. Here is Alexis Sanchez, the curling ball in towards Olivier Giroud. The flick just can't quite take the ball around Heinz, and it comes off Giroud and out for another goal kick.
Just looking at Jean Cordoba's stats, and he's only had 2 passes, 100% accuracy. They've both got where he wanted, but it's that one shot, one goal. What a fantastic finish it was that puts him top of the stats list at the moment and making a difference between the two sides. Arsenal with a lion's share of possession again, as we've just gone past the halfway mark in the game. 20 minutes to go. Arsenal need to get something before half-time for me, Dan.
Well, 20 minutes until half-time. It's been a game that hasn't really had any pattern so far. This is Cordoba. Was he caught by Holding? Play continues, and still Cologne looking to come forward. They had runners there as Höger got forward, but then suddenly they're a little bit open in midfield. Arsenal have it with Iwobi, pretty much on the centre spot at the minute. He's got Alexis to his left-hand side. Here is Alexis. He's denied initially by Klunter, who wins it for the first time and then the second, but can't quite keep the move alive, and the ball is won back by El Neni. And El Neni again looks for the big diagonal, hoping to hit Hector Bellerin. Bellerin on the right-hand side looks to whip in a low ball. Rausch is there with the interception. Now it's back with Bittencourt, and Bittencourt will look to knock it down the line. It flicked up off an Arsenal boot. That's going to be a throw-in to Cologne, is it? Yes.
Yeah, I think you got it right a minute ago, Dan, when you said there's no real pattern to the game at the moment. It just seems to be like it's like a boxing match when two boxers stand up and just stand toe-to-toe and try and out-punch each other. Arsenal need to get structure in their side to be able to break down Cologne. And to be fair, I always thought this would be Cologne's attitude, just stand there and try and go toe-to-toe with Arsenal for as long as they can and get something, which they have done. Arsenal, with the more quality in their side and more experience, you would think would now be starting to settle into it. And I'm just hoping that comes, because when that comes, you will see, you know, just sort of that gap open up between the quality, and Arsenal pick out the right passes.
Now it's with Höger. Ball over the top, looking for the run of Zola. Mertesacker takes it down, but he gives it away. Rausch will flick it back towards Bittencourt. Now it's with Heinz on the halfway line. The centre-half takes a look up, left-footed ball forward towards Hector. Now it's with Heinz once again, looks for the big diagonal to that right-hand side, but Ainsley Maitland-Niles is there and he will clear. It's an awkward fall for Maitland-Niles, but he's up on his feet okay. And the throw-in will be taken on that right-hand side as Cologne look to get some players forward inside the penalty area. Cordoba waits. It's a short ball, though, by Klunter, and eventually the ball does come inside the box, but that's too easy for David Ospina. Ospina will look to try and knock it long. Giroud tries to hold up. Giroud looks for Walcott. Walcott does well from Giroud's ball. Now it's with Hector Bellerin. Bellerin coming forward on the right-hand side against Rausch. Hasn't got the trickery to get away from Rausch. Now it's with El Neni. El Neni will look to try and knock it back here for Holding. Holding for Mertesacker on the halfway line. Mertesacker knocks it back for El Neni. Where's the inspiration coming from here for Arsenal? Oh, El Neni, that's an awful ball. He's given it straight away to a Cologne player. Now it's with Höger and looks to come forward. Flicks it in field to Bittencourt. Bittencourt steps away from Iwobi. Plays it to the right-hand side. Let's see what Klunter can do here for Cologne. It's on his left foot, and it's well wide of the target.
Yeah, you've got to give credit to Cologne again. I think they're playing with that verve and vigour that's needed in this game. Yeah, it was a bad decision by El Neni to try and switch play there. I think he just clonked Cordoba in the head and gone, you know, he's give up possession quite easily in there. He's crying out for someone in the centre of the pitch for Arsenal just to put their foot on it and just take a bit of time, slow the game down, pick a few little easy passes out, even if it means not going forward too much, but just holding possession in Cologne's half. You know, we're not keeping possession in there, we're going in and back out into our own, back into our half. We don't need to do that.
So a corner right-hand side here for Cologne. 5 opposition players inside the penalty area, but it's come out towards Rausch on the volley. Doesn't quite catch that one. I think that ambitious effort was a little bit above his pay grade. Here he's holding to try and clear. He's just held up for a second by Heinz, but he's done well to find Iwobi. Iwobi looking for Alexis Sanchez, who's on the right-hand side. The ball forward to Hector Bellerin, and he's not good enough. That's poor from Alexis, and it's easy for the keeper. Yeah,
Alexis knows that. He's disappointed with that. He just needed to slide that along the ground because Bellerin's pace would have took him in the right position. But he's getting the ball in the right area. You know, that's where I want to see him with the ball in that final third, creating little chances. But certainly the execution wasn't great. And I think that's the pressure he's been put under now because, you know, at this stage in the game, Arsenal would be looking to be in front. The Cologne fans are still singing their heart out. And what they're also doing is when the Arsenal players getting on the ball, they're booing and hissing and making it difficult. And as a player, you feel that, Dan.
Monreal wins the header. It'll bounce here towards Mehr, the Spanish centre-half, who takes a touch and looks to find Höger. Now it's with Rausch, looks to get the low ball in towards Zoller here! The offside flag was up. The Cologne supporters want a penalty for the secondary challenge on one of their players, but Zoller was nearly in. Hector the man down because he was clattered into by Ospina, but it was Zoller that was offside, I think.
Yeah, fractionally offside. Yeah, fractionally offside. But look at the effort that Zoller is putting to get into that box. You know, and we're talking about energy expense. That is hard work. And, you know, you just can't do that as players for a whole 90. But what you can do, if you do it for 45 and you get a couple of goals out of it, you can sit back and live off of that, hopefully, for the rest of the game. I'm not quite sure how bad a challenge it was. I think he's caught him round his ankles.
I mean, it's just after the whistle had gone, isn't it? So
yeah,
it might have been a penalty. I don't know.
Just swept him out. Yeah, I think it quite possibly would have been a penalty if there hadn't been that decision for the offside before that. But certainly the effort being put in by both the players and the supporters of Cologne is tremendous, and it's, you know, it's inspiring the team.
Plenty of emails that have come in. Satai says, I've seen our lineup and might be asking a little bit much from the team, that we feel that on Saturday 9 changes. Still got concerns about Ospina. Our back three needs to settle quickly. We have it all to do now that Cologne have got that goal, but we've got to keep our nerve and take our chances, writes Satai. We're back underway. Hector is not yet back on the field of play. So Cologne are momentarily down to 10, and Alexis has possession here, looks to chip it forward towards Giroud, lays it off for El Neni with a strike. It's wide of the target. Snapshot, took it early, good hit, but misdirected. Yeah,
I think it was probably the right decision there. You know, he's got an opportunity, but again, it's through players, really. He's got to get a lot of curl on that to bend it into the goal past Horn. Again, you know, I'd like to see the team keeping possession up and around the box there. If you can keep the possession there and get Alexis on the ball, he is more than capable of opening them up, of taking one player on, getting enough space for a proper opportunity. But it just seems all a bit rushed, and they're forcing it a bit because I think they want something to happen so badly, and it's, you know, everything they're trying, they're being countered by Cologne at the moment.
Alexis has possession at the moment, steps away from Zoller, and looks to play it over to this right-hand side and holding. It's towards Theo Walcott, who does well. Now it's with Hector Bellerin. Can he keep it in play? No, just overhit. And that's been the story of an awful lot of counters on this right-hand side. Yeah,
the execution of the final pass I think has let Arsenal down. The retention of ball in the final third a little bit has let the side down a little bit, and one or two decisions at the back, whether it's through nervousness or just, you know, being the first game for a while. And because it's a new competition, and it's, so say, an easier competition I keep going on about pressure. There's a bit more pressure on the players.
Long punt forward by Horn. It'll fall towards Maitland-Niles, who will find Alex Iwobi. Iwobi's progress is halted by the presence of Zola over on the Arsenal left, the Cologne right. Now it's with Ainsley Maitland-Niles making the overlap, and eventually it's gone back towards Alex Iwobi. Arsenal need to get him on the ball, you feel here. Here is Nacho Monreal. Monreal coming forward. Cologne with everybody back behind the ball. This is Iwobi now. Ainsley Maitland-Niles joins in. Monreal over on that left-hand side. Let's see what he can do. Oh, he's given the ball away. That was poor. And it's cleared away by Cologne. Only momentarily. We've got a Cologne player down at the moment, so we're going to have a halting penalty made. Well, it's the number 14. I thought it was Hector. It is Jonas Hector, because he took that crashing challenge moments ago, and they might need to make a change here. While they do that, Mark says, greetings from Malmo. Can't help thinking that with the 11 lined up tonight, it would be best to play a back four. Maitland-Niles alongside El Neni and Iwobi behind Giroud. Ainsley's obviously the new Hawks. At this rate, I might place a small bet on him to play in goal against Doncaster next week. Still hoping that tonight's lineup is a sign that the same 11 will start against Chelsea as started against Bournemouth. Yeah, that's possible. Thanks for the commentary, says Mark, who also gives me one or two of the comments that I think you're actually spot on with. Looks like Hector's going to come off. This is a bit of a blow, I think, for Cologne, because Hector is a player who's got a little bit more experience than most, that is for certain, and unfortunately the player who has played for Germany previously and was involved in the World Cup qualifiers not so long ago has got to come off, and he's probably the more experienced performer. This is bad news for them.
Yeah, Hector, he's played a good role in his team. I'm just looking at his average position, and it's basically centre spot. He's been controlling what goes on. He's been the instigator of the closing down. He's been the instigator of the forward movement of the side. He's been taking them up and back. It could, you know, change the dynamics of this game, him coming off. We'll see how his replacement does.
Yeah, he played in all of the Confederations Cup, well, not all of the Confederations Cup game, but he played in the final against Chile, which Alexis played in, of course, and Germany won that competition 1-0. And he's played in the recent round of World Cup qualifiers as well. He's very much a player in demand at international level with Joachim Löw's squad, and almost certain to go to the World Cup, you'd have thought, next summer. So Hector is off, and the player that's come on is Milos Jojic. Jojic is taking his place pretty much, I think, in the same position, isn't he? He's certainly a central midfielder. He's a Serbian who played for Partizan Belgrade a few years ago, arch rivals of Red Star, of course, who Arsenal line up against in this competition as well, or Crvena Zvezda, to give them their usual title across Europe. Interesting to see the Red Star moniker again. It is a literal translation, though, I think. Here is Rob Holding for Arsenal. I'm sure someone will tell me if I've got that completely wrong. Mertesacker. This is Iwobi. El Neni just inside the Cologne half at the moment. This is Holding. Now it's with El Neni. El Neni turns and will chip it over to the left-hand side where Alexis is lurking. We've got just 9 minutes to go until half-time, and it's Cologne that lead by 1-0. This is Holding for the Gunners. Back towards Mertesacker. Cologne defending deep. El Neni. Mertesacker once again. Back towards Holding on the right-hand side. Good chasing down from the Cologne players, but Arsenal looking to find a way through. This is Walcott. Steps away from one challenge. Loses out, though, eventually. And it's Bittencourt that wins it back. And now it's Cordoba that has it. The Colombian races forward over the halfway line. Back towards Bittencourt. Now, Cologne have got players inside the penalty area. It's chipped over towards the far post. It's chested back by Maitland-Niles. That was coolly done.
Yeah, he was. He's not been involved in the game much, Ainsley, on that side. Everything for Arsenal is down this right-hand side. And as the same is for Cologne, all their work is down the left-hand side. So all the action is by me and you, Dan. Not a lot happening on the other side of the pitch. And I keep going on about Alexis. What I'm going to do is at half-time, hopefully I'm going to get Alexis's heat map up. And we're going to have a look at that.
Let's see what Maitland-Niles can do. Left-hand side, rolls in the cross, but he can't hit Giroud. And it's cleared away. Execution
of the final pass again. He's saying, Giroud's saying I should have gone into the near post, but Giroud pulls out then. For me, he should be cutting that back into Giroud's feet. Now, he's had to do that with his left foot. We spoke in the game about playing on a side where you're not comfortable. He's a right-footed player playing as left back. If this was on the other side of the pitch, he'd have cut that back no problem. It's just a bit more pressure on your bad foot. And when it comes to the final pass, that killer executional pass, it's critical that it's right.
Well, Maitland-Niles unfortunately unable to provide it on that occasion, but he has won a throw over on that far side now. As the youngster, the challenge came in from Simon Zola. And the Cologne fans not giving the ball back at the minute. Now they do. And Maitland-Niles gets ready to take, throws it down towards Alexis, who loses out. And Alexis has been a little bit off at the moment in this fixture. This is Iwobi, who drives forward, beats one man, looks to flick it to the left-hand side. Alexis has it now. Iwobi's not happy about something towards Giroud! Wide of the target. Big opportunity. Giroud's complaining, I think he was being fouled. I didn't quite see it, but Giroud is furious.
Yeah, I think he's complaining about maybe getting tugged a little bit. We'll just see it on the replay.
Didn't see too much.
Yeah, I think he might be saying it's come off of Heinz, maybe. Maybe he's claiming